Just because you can connect a data source to a Word document and then create your mail merge result doesn't mean you're stuck with the data as it's provided to you. We can actually edit that data to some degree, we can sort the data, we can remove duplicates and filter out the result that we're seeing. So if we take the special offer letter that's in your working folder, currently this is just a base letter and we need to attach it to a data source. So we go to our mailings ribbon, select recipients, use an existing list, navigate to where our data is, and this time we're going to use the Access Database Sample 2013. So we open the data source and then we insert our fields. So for the purposes of this particular exercise, we are only going to insert a number of the fields instead of looking at all of them. So the address we've restricted to first name, surname, and the town and city, dear first name, and then the title of the DVD that they purchased. We can preview the results to make sure that works. So Wendy bought Word 2013, Man bought 2013 Excel, Michael bought Access, Grant bought PowerPoint, and Mary bought Office 2010. Now what we need to do now is look at perhaps filtering out some of this data, which we do through editing the recipient list. So once you've attached your Word document to a data source, we can access that data source without having to actually open the data source in its native application. So in this case, an Access database, but it could be an Excel file, it could be a Word table. When we choose to edit the recipient list, we can see all the recipients listed. And the most simple thing you can do here is actually exclude any. By taking that tick out of there, we are excluding Man De Silva, Mary Wallace, Tom Clancy, Judith Lacey. Now you can do that en masse by ticking the tick at the top, and that deselects everybody, so I don't have any data. Or we can tick the tick back on to select everybody, and then I'll have everyone in my list. Now at the moment, the data is provided to you in the order sorted by the data source. So whatever order that data has been saved in with your database or Excel file, that's the order that the data will appear here. That's the order that your merged result will appear in. So if we want the result in letters to come out in a different order, perhaps we'd like them to come out in county order, so all the counties are together, or in town order. And we can control that sort through here. So we click sort, and we'd like to sort the records by, and we choose which of the fields we'd like them to be sorted by. And this will control how the letters then appear in the printed version. So let's put them in county order. Then within each county, we can have a secondary sort, and let's have them in town order. So they'll firstly be sorted by county ascending, so A to Z, and then by town and city, A to Z. Now you can go descending, perhaps you've got a date field that you want them sorted in, so the newest ones are first or the oldest ones are first. If you need to clear the sort order, you simply click clear all down here. At the moment I want to retain this, so county first, then town city, OK. And you can see then in the view of the data here, it shows me the counties in alphabetical order. Where the counties repeat, so the first one repeats a number of times, they are then in town order. The counties are alphabetical and then in town. So in North Yorkshire there are a few towns, we have N, T, Y, so they are in alphabetical order. And when we say OK, if we preview the results, we now see them in their new previewed order. And then when you do the final merge, they will stay in this particular order. So your final letters will come out in this order. So that's edit recipient list and sort. Now we can also filter out. Now we see that we can do this manually by saying I don't want that one, I don't want that one, I don't want that one. But in a list of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 25,000 people, that is not a quick way of filtering the data. We could go into filter. And in here we could decide that we only wish to see those people whose county is equal to or greater than, less than, not equal to. Let's say that their county is equal to North Yorkshire. Now when you're doing a text match, the actual characters must match the data. Not the case, we're not case sensitive luckily, but the characters must match. So I've got to spell this exactly as it's spelt in the data. OK, and then you can see in the list, your filtered result means you only see North Yorkshire people, and that will follow through into the document that's sat behind this list currently, in that you will only see the North Yorkshire people. So that's filter, and you can filter by any number of fields. Let's change the county filter to a salary filter and say we only want to see those people whose salary is greater than, and we could put 20,000. I don't need to put any decimal places or commas or anything, just the raw number there. Anybody whose salary is greater than 20,000. Okay. And I see a new filtered recipient list where everybody's salary in this list is over 20,000. And just scrolling through, I can see that that's true. So that's the filter option. And just like the sort, you can have multiple filters. So they have to earn more than 20,000 and their sex must be equal to 1. That's all the males. And their county must be equal to North Yorkshire. Now, if you filter too much, all these are compounded. You could potentially end up with no data. So I'm only going to see people who match all 3 of these criteria. They must live in North Yorkshire, they must be 1 in their gender, and they must earn more than 20,000. Okay, and I see I have a much shorter list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. So that's the filtering. Now the and can change to or, in which case it would be greater than 20,000 or 1. So if they earned less than 20,000, but they had a 1 in their gender field, they would still be pulled into this list. So that's adding in the or capability. If we need to remove any of these filters, then we simply clear all and then go back to the beginning and start with what you want. With no filters on there, all our data is returned, but it will remember the sort settings that we placed of county and town city. So even though you're presented with a whole raft of data in your data source, you don't need to use all of that data. You may wish to sort that data so that the end result letters are in a particular order, and you may wish to filter out some of the records so that you're not sending letters to every single person in the database that you've been given access to. This saves you having to edit the source data, which you might not have access to anyway or be able to update, and you can just filter out the people that match your criteria for this particular merge.